kudos to you for just bringing that wild coonery right to the internet that no one ever asked for.
Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you decide to subscribe. And if you are a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back. So my usual disclaimer, this video is strictly for educational purposes. Please do not go searching out the people that I talk about in this video. Don't send them any form of hate comment, threats, or violence. This channel does not support any of that. So today's video is another video about black people's names and mispronunciation. If you remember, I've done a video like that before. This particular one, go check it out if you don't mind. So now today's own is about a black man that brought it up, and he had something to say about black names. Let me just go right ahead and play his video.
No, you can't blame teachers for this shit. You can't blame teachers for having to deal with the names that black people come up with. Aquanisha, Watermelon Drea, Vaseline, spelled like Vaseline. I swear black folks can't come up with normal names and just be fine. They gotta add extra shit to the name just to be special. And it's fucking everybody up. We're tired of that shit. Even my friend Ladarian doesn't want to be called Ladarian. He just likes Darian. What's with all the luz, the us, the druz, the sh? You just be adding sounds to people's names and shit. Shadaria. You can't give nobody shit about pronunciation if your name is like Aquanisha, Bonafide, Bonquiqui, Thompson III. Trying to say that shit just pissed me off. My mama said, fuck that shit. We ain't doing no ghetto ass names. Your name is Maurice. They didn't have trouble fucking that up. It's fucked up, but it's funny. Because it's true. And stop naming your kids after shit you can't afford. Diamond, Pearl, looking like gravel. People be naming their daughters Mercedes and Porsche, but they be really looking like Dodge Neon and Ford Focus.
So when I saw that video, at first I was like, bombastic side eye, criminal offensive side eye. Like, what is wrong with this guy? Now, you guys know. You probably know that guy's face if you watch this channel. So you're probably not surprised about what he had to say. Whew. Now, I don't know. I will not lie. I've seen some names by black people that are difficult to pronounce. But then, it is not just black people's names that are difficult to pronounce, right? Other people's names, other cultures' names are difficult to pronounce. Anyway, before I just go on and on, let me go right ahead and play stitches to this video.
You can't blame teachers for having to deal with the names that black people come up with. Aquanisha.
If Aquanisha told you how to pronounce her name on the first day of school, you should be able to remember that because you the one got your degree and everything. You know how to pronounce Utenberg and Bonheimer Schmidt. So you can pronounce whatever the fuck else. These kids are telling you how to pronounce their name. It's absolutely on the damn teacher to remember. Stop playing in my black ass face.
Come up with.
I'm not about to give a man like that more views and clout, but absolutely you can blame them for that. Absolutely. And I say that as a substitute teacher, right? I say that as a goated substitute teacher. What do I mean by goated? The students, many of my students have told me that I'm goated because I'm the first and sometimes only teacher that they have had that either A, can pronounce their name correctly by just reading it, right? And B, because I am one of the few teachers who will make sure that I always pronounce their name correctly. So yes, you can blame someone. Now, I don't blame someone if you're looking at the name on the sheet and you can't figure out how to pronounce it at first, right? That's fine. Not everything is spelled phonetically. Even our white names. So let's stop putting it on. It's just black names. No. Everyone's gotten crazy with names, right? But even if you can't get it right from reading it, then you ask the child, how do I pronounce your first name? And once they teach you, then it is absolutely 1,000% your responsibility to make sure that you get that correctly. Because let me tell you something. I have had students tell me that they've had a teacher for almost an entire year that still cannot or will not pronounce their name correctly. And do you want to know what that says to a child? That says to a child that you could give a fuck less about them because you can't even be bothered to put in a minimal amount of effort and energy to pronounce their name correctly, especially after you've been told or corrected multiple times. My children have very unique names. I will not tolerate someone mispronouncing their name, right? I won't do it. You know what it is. Call them by their appropriate name, or otherwise don't expect them to respect you if you can't respect them. There's got to be some reciprocation here, right? And it's that little thing that when I tell you goes such a long way, it goes such a long way, right? That's it. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's just a little bit of effort and energy.
Black people come up with. Aquanisha.
No, sir. That is 100% on the teacher to pronounce students' names correctly, whether it be Aquanisha or whoever it is. If they told you how to pronounce their name on the first day of school, that is your job to get it right. And the student shouldn't have to correct you but once. And I don't care what you have to do to pronounce it correctly. If you got to say it over and over again, do that. Or if you have the roster sheet right in front of you, because this is what I do. If I get to a student's name who I'm having trouble with, I will write it phonetically on the roster sheet so I don't forget it again. And the thing about it is, it's not even just black kids. It's also Hispanic kids, Asian kids, who get their names mispronounced as well. And then there are some teachers out here who will go to these children and say, oh, I can't pronounce your name. I'm just gonna call you so-and-so. I'm just gonna call you such and such. And just call them by a name they decide they wanna call them and not call that student by their actual name. Do you know how disrespectful that is? To just call someone whatever you wanna call them and not by their actual name? I'm sure there are plenty of people watching this who've had that experience where their names have been mispronounced so many times. Teachers called them whatever they felt like calling them. Let me know in the comments. Also, if a teacher or anybody else mispronounces your name, correct them every time. But all in all, it is 100% on the teacher to pronounce their students' names correctly.
The names that black people come up with.
I absolutely will. My name is Arabic. It has 5 letters and 2 syllables. Do you know what the lunch lady called me in 3rd grade? Zena. My name starts with a K. Where do you get Zena from, Kenza? I don't... If I tell you how to pronounce my name, or if my name is literally said phonetically, like the exact way that it's spelled, it's not hard. Teachers are supposed to be smart. Phonics is supposed to be like a basic thing. So you mean to tell me you can't pronounce Kenza, Kendra, Kenya, Kwanzaa, Kina, Zena? My name is Kenza. You can say that. Stop it.
That black people come up with. Aquanisha.
You, my friend, have accomplished something truly fascinating to watch, and that is a person prove themselves wrong in the midst of arguing their point. It's a rare occurrence, ladies and gentlemen, and it's certainly a feat, but it is amazing to watch every single time. Sir, you do realize, right, that you just said we can't get mad at teachers for forgetting these names. And somehow you, with much more questionable intellect than even the worst teacher we have in the system, memorized them and recited them all flawlessly throughout this video, probably based off of one experience or one exposure. You literally proved that even the worst of us can do this tiny job, right? That's a blip on the entire radar of every teacher across the world. Painted yourself into the worst corner you could have painted yourself in. Kudos to you for just bringing that wild coonery right to the internet that no one ever asked for. But nonetheless, you do need a lesson. But don't worry, good old Ace is here to help you, right? So, your ancestors and my ancestors, right? When we were slaves, we were forcibly brought to this country. There were families that were also brought, right? Mom, dad, kids, parents, kid, right? So what happened in these moments was that these people would be forcibly separated. I don't know if you read or not, right? But that's the truth, right? They would be forcibly ripped apart from each other. And the only hope that they would have of reuniting sometimes is to teach this child that their name was now a noise that only them and the child would know. Only the parents and the child would know. So your name is now this noise that only we have created in this moment. And the reason they would do that, again, is because they were forcibly separated, and the only chance they had of being together again was to be out and about one day, make this noise, hope this child would hear this noise, know that is their name and their name only, and they would be reunited. Certainly not a good experience, not a funny experience, and not grounds for a fucking joke. This is your ancestry. These are your ancestors as well. Are you going to tell me that you're one of those African Americans that are indigenous, right? You're going to tell me, what are you going to tell me? What made you come on the internet and laugh at yourself? and invalidate our ancestors and black people's experiences and silence black women all in one video. You suck, sir. You suck.
People come up with.
Yes, you can. A teacher should be able to learn your name after you say it once. Coming from a teacher. In fact, first school I taught at, majority black school, Oakland. First day of school, oh, your name is Mike Kelleny. That's a cool name. Took me a day to learn it. Also, the dad's name, Michael. The mom's name, Melanie. Hence, Mike Kelleny. And before you make fun of it, I thought it was creative. Yes, the teacher has a problem with that fur animal on your head, but not a problem with black children's names. Hope this helps.
People come up with. Aquanisha.
I'm doing this with the full understanding that I am attacking this with grace that you frankly don't deserve. And this is not for you. Honestly, it's for other people who are genuinely confused. Of course, I have an anecdote. My parents are African, right? My dad's Nigerian, my mom's Liberian. Which means that they gave me names that are close to their culture. But, they also gave me a name that white people can pronounce, and that will be very important. So when I was graduating high school, it was highly encouraged that we teach the lady who was going to be announcing our names how to say our names, especially if we had ethnic names that were difficult to pronounce, right? So I did that. My middle name and my last name are very difficult, so I spent weeks, I say, weeks teaching this woman how to say my name. And I did not focus on my first name because my first name is fairly simple, right? So I just said, okay, well, we know how to say that first name. No need to worry about that. It's the middle and last name where we're going to get caught up. So let's work on that. Because if you say it wrong, my family's going to roast you for the rest of your existence. And we don't want that, right? So the day comes, I'm getting ready to graduate. I'm on the stage. This lady says my name. She says my first, middle, and last name wrong. I am named after a Shakespearean character. How the hell do you fuck up Shakespeare? She did it though. She did it. And I was not the only child whose name she messed up that day, but I could tell you that there was a pattern. Very noticeable pattern. Frankly, to me, it's infantilizing and insulting to say that these people cannot simply learn how to say people's ethnic names. It's rude to them to think that they are so small-minded that they simply cannot put it together.
No, you can't blame teachers for this shit.
Former educator here. Yeah, I know, you're probably like, Datora, how many careers have you had? About 4 in the past 5 years. But anyway, the easiest job you have as a teacher is to remember how to pronounce your students' names. Like, you should have it down pat by the first week. If not the first week, at least the first month. But that's pushing it. Like, you're a fucking educator. You're expecting them to know how to pronounce words like euphemism, but you can't pronounce the name LaQuasia. And it's always these teachers, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's basic respect. And then you wonder why these students want to square up with you. You don't even know how to pronounce their fucking name. And if we're talking specifically about black people, and it sounds like we are because y'all only forget how to pronounce our name. You already stuck us with these plantation last names. And when we try to have some creativity with our first name, you don't even respect it enough to pronounce it the right way. My birth name is the whitest white girl name you could ever fucking think of. And I was always a little salty. I wanted an interesting name. Why do you think I named myself Datora? But my mama was like, I don't want you to have one of those quote unquote ghetto names because then you won't be able to get a job. Well, joke's on you because I'm too disabled to get a fucking job. Anyway, don't get shocked when your student punch you in the face because you don't even know how to pronounce their name.
So you guys have heard everything that he said, and some teachers actually chipped in, and I'm happy about that because as a teacher, what values are you passing on to your kids if you make them believe that you don't have to learn to pronounce people's names? It is not a necessity for you to pronounce someone's name right, and you're supposed to be teaching these children the act of learning. So that in itself is wrong. So I'm happy that a lot of teachers chimed in, and it's just funny, like, how are black people expected to just, you know, take the disrespect of their names not being pronounced? And if you're a full-grown adult that is a teacher and you're doing that to a kid, you're purposely refusing to learn how to pronounce their names, you're purposely mispronouncing their name, what message are you sending to that child? If you're letting them know that their names are not important enough for you to even bother to learn it, How do you expect that child to understand and interpret that kind of act in the first place? And then he said that, oh, his mother named him Maurice because the mom said she's not interested in giving him a ghetto ass name. So why is it that things that are associated with black people are usually referred to as ghetto, uncultured? Why? What is the reason? I refuse to believe he was serious in that video. I think he's just poking fun at black people because he does that a lot. He tries to say a lot of things that get black people offended and all riled up, and then making all those commentary and stitches. At this point, like, he's known for that, and it's fine. All skin folk ain't kin folk. It's okay. But at least, being that you do not want to associate with black people so bad, can you leave us alone and stop being all up in our business, please? You guys, let me know what you think about what he said in the comment section. What do you think about the responses as well? And what do you think about black names? As far as I'm concerned, they are not harder to pronounce than any other name from any other part of the world. They are easy black names to pronounce. They are difficult black names to pronounce. And some people mispronounce black names, even the simplest ones, on purpose. We know that. That is why I recommend you watch that video, because that black woman was not having it. You guys need to see the way she handled the mispronunciation of her name. Just check out that video right after this one. So I'm going to be rounding up here. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.